Welcome to Hoop Talk Fanatics. I am here with my co-host, Chris Korn, and we have a special guest today for episode number 5. His name is Iren Rainey. He is an NBA coaching trainer, and we are very excited to see what he has to say about his experience training players and other things. So, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
So glad to have you on.
Absolutely.
So, to lead off, my first question is, what does your routine with the player workout?
When you say routine, honestly, because I work with so many players, the routines kind of differentiate based on what kind of player it is, what they're needing at the present time, the time of the season, if they're in season, if they're out of season, if they're going through a slump. It just all depends on what's needed at the time, honestly. But the biggest thing for me is just making sure the connection is there, making sure that I'm prepared for what it is that they do need, and being able to deliver and help them evolve.
So, my next question is, what type of drills do you focus on with each player?
Yeah, once again, the drill is very based on what the player is, if they're a hybrid big, if they're a guard. And it also varies based on the system that they're in. I mean, you take a team like Golden State, who's a drive, kick, spacing team, which is totally different than, maybe the Philadelphia 76ers or the Miami Heat. So it just depends on the individual player and the NBA team that they're playing with in the system, and making sure that they're fitting in that system, and not only fitting into the system, but fitting into their role within the system.
So, Chris, you want to ask the next one?
Yeah. So, what was kind of how did you really get into this kind of business, and how did you become a trainer? Oh, and what made you want to be a trainer, I guess?
Great question. I'm honestly always loved the game of basketball. I excelled, the game of basketball at an early age. I was actually playing professionally at the age of 14 in Europe, and my career came to a sudden halt after my last year of college. I actually went through a significant period of adversity, which kind of cost me my basketball playing career. And from that point forward, I actually just took that same passion. And, obviously I still played and had a lot of different, people that I played against and with at the NBA level. And they honestly liked my approach to the game. They love my skill set. I've always embraced the role as a leader. And so because of that, it was actually pretty easy to get into the skill development side of it. My first client was actually a girl, Nina Stone, who actually played for the Chicago Sky in the WNBA. And then from there, I ended up training off river, Fort Lee, and they kind of opened up the doors for me to get onto the NBA side, and I've been rocking ever since. So it's definitely been a journey, but I enjoy it. I love it. I'm extremely grateful to be here, and if anybody's interested in learning more and how to get into this side, I'm definitely more than willing to help them, for sure.
Awesome. Definitely have to hit you up on that at some point.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, my next question is, what have you done to help players adjust to the new NBA rules?
What have I helped players do to adjust to the NBA? Luckily, the majority of the players I work with aren't. What's the best way to say this? They're not the actors in the NBA. If that makes sense. Yeah. So like the new NBA rules, as far as like the fouls and all that stuff, it's been pretty easy because our workouts haven't really changed. And like I said, the point of emphasis within every workout is just making sure I'm allowing and helping each player to evolve and operate as the best version of themselves individually in respect to their individual teams or their various teams.
So my next question is, what was the process like for you during the pandemic, and could you still do the basic stuff that you've been doing beforehand during the pandemic?
Great question. The pandemic obviously, changed the majority of our lives. It definitely limited the amount of training and workouts that we were able to do, the amount of interaction I was able to have with the players. Luckily, in Florida, I've been blessed and to have gyms and have access to gyms, and some of my guys have had access to gyms, and we just did whatever it was we could do to make sure we were always moving in the direction of preparation for this season, because obviously you can't just come to a stop. You can't just stop playing basketball or stop working on your craft. So it did limit us quite a bit, but we were able to, get in the gym during the pandemic, made sure we wore masks, made sure we were, following the proper protocol, and we were able to gratefully get in some gyms and still get some work in.
Chris, you want to do the next one?
Awesome. Yeah. So kind of getting a little bit more into like NBA the general. What are your thoughts on Doc Rivers coaching this season, kind of with what all that team's gone through?
Say it again, I'm sorry.
What are your thoughts on kind of the Sixers and how Doc Rivers has led that team, kind of with all that's going on there?
Doc's a legendary coach. I mean, he knows the game. He's hard-nosed. He's an old-school coach. He's a player first. So I really respect him, as an individual. I respect all of his accomplishments. I think that he's done a great job, with leading the Sixers team. Obviously, they got some kinks to work out. They got some players that are younger. And then, with the dissension that they've experienced with Ben, it's been extremely, difficult as a unit because of all of that stuff going on. But I think for the most part, he's done a great job handling it. As a coach, the players have done a great job, getting through it and still, still being somewhat successful for this particular season. For sure.
My next question is, what are your thoughts on the Ben Simmons situation?
I personally, I don't really want to speak on that, honestly.
Okay.
For my own reasons, but I mean, we're all, at the end of the day, we're all individuals, right? So I can't really, talk about what's going on in his world and, what his mindset is. I can't really, I can't speak on him because I'm not in his shoes. So that's all I can say about that.
It's so hard to know what he's actually going through. Like,
absolutely. Right. It's tough, man. It's tough.
So I think we have one more question.
Okay.
What's a typical day like for you?
It depends on if we're in season, out of season. But for the most part, I wake up early. I try to get at least 3 to 5 minutes in of gratitude, just immersing myself in the things that I'm grateful for, and really experiencing that feeling before I get my day started. I usually like to take at least 5 to 10 minutes to do a simple, quick meditation, just to become centered and grounded, because obviously I'm caught up in a human predicament, chaos, technology, relationships, dealing with parents, dealing with, all of my clients. So it's important for me to be grounded and be centered so I'm able to deal with that effectively. I work out. I just started my workout back up again. And currently, I actually have a couple of clients that I do in the mornings. And then I have a youth basketball organization as well, where we have about 160 kids, 160, 170 kids currently, give or take a few. And, our season has started up too, because we have about 12 teams. So I've been really focused on that, making sure I get them in for all of our group trainings, getting our individual sessions in, making sure our team practices are structured and run the right way, working on our schedules for the season. That's really what we've been focused on, that I've been focused on, over the last couple of months since the NBA season has started. Obviously, I check on my clients in the NBA. I watch their games, watch and look for different things or different ways that they can improve, and also look for ways that they've already improved so that I can let them know that as well. So try to spend as much time with my kids as I can. I got a 7-year-old son, and then I got twins who are 2 years old. So try to spend as much time as possible with them, which is extremely difficult because I always have something going on with the brand and with the business, which will pay off in the end. But typically for me, I'm either in the gym or reading or in some kind of meeting looking to expand the brand, or currently we're actually working on getting another gym, which will have multiple courts. So that's definitely something that I'm excited about and been spending a lot of time on. But for me, that's typically how my days go.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day to come on.
My pleasure, man. I enjoyed the time spent. For
Thank
sure.
you
Great.
so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, we got to do this again, man. Y'all enjoy the rest of
Definitely,
your day.
for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, have a good one.
See ya.
You too.